So it's a very beautiful shloka. Hovetti Bhuman Bhagavan Paratman Yogeshwarotir Bhavatas Trilokyam Kvava Katamva Kativa Kadeti Vistarayan Kridasi Yogamaya. This is the shloka we are discussing. Actually, this shloka comes in the 39th anuccheda, but the discussion of the shloka continues in the 40th anuccheda also. As you pointed out, so in the shloka there are 4 Sambodhana Vibhakti words: Bhuman, Bhagavan, Paratman, and Yogeshwara. These 4 Sambodhana Vibhakti words correspond to the 4 questions: Kva, Katam, Kati, and Kada. So the 4 questions, these 4 are rhetorical questions. That means the answers are included within the questions. So Kva, that means the first question is that where will the Lord manifest his different forms? Or where does the Lord manifest a particular form? This is the first question. In relation to this question is related to the word Bhuman. Because the Lord is all pervading, he can manifest his form anywhere. Or the Lord will manifest his form. It depends on where, because Lord manifests his form according to the mood of the devotees, according to the desire of the devotees. So it depends on the devotees, where a particular devotee is intensely desiring to see the Supreme Lord. In that place, the Lord manifests his form. So the word Kva is related to the Bhuman. And Katam, how does the Lord manifest his how does the Lord manifest his form? The Lord manifests his form by his Achintya Shakti. This question is related to the word Bhagavan. Bhagavan means Bhagavan is somebody who has Achintya Shakti. Therefore, the Lord manifests his form through his Achintya Shakti. And Kativa, how many forms of the Lord exist? How many times? The third question is that how many forms and avatars does he have? So this question is related to the third word, Paratman. Paratman means the Lord has unlimited forms, unlimited avatars. So the answer to this question is that because you are Paratman, you have unlimited forms and unlimited avatars. You can't count it. And then fourth question is Kada. When will the Lord manifest his pastimes? This is related to the fourth Sambodhana Vibhakti word, Yogeshwara. That means when a particular devotee becomes mature in his love for the Lord, in his devotional service, at that time the Lord will manifest his particular form. In that way, this verse is actually the 4 questions are related to the 4 Sambodhana Vibhakti words. So last time we discussed it till the we have to start beginning this Tvam Bhakti Yoga. So in the 40th Anuccheda, Jiva Goswami quotes this shloka from Brahmaji's prayers from the 3rd canto. Tvam Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Hritsaroja Ase Shrutekshita Pato Nanunata Pumsam Yadyadiyata Vibhava Yadyadiyata Urugaya Vibhavayanti Tattat Vapu Pranayase Sadanugrahaya. So what is the meaning of the shloka? Oh Master, you take your seat in the lotus heart that has been made worthy of you through love, through prema. Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Hrit Saroja. Ase. Ase means you take seat. You take seat in that particular heart which has become worthy because of developing love for you. Bhakti yoga paribhavita hrit saroja ase. And even so, Shrutekshita pato nanunata pumsam. The path by which you can be seen is through hearing the Shastras. Shruta ikshita. Shruta ikshita pato nanunata pumsam. The path by which one can actually see you is by hearing the Vedas. Yadya diyata urugaya vibhavayanti. Urugaya, O greatly glorified Lord. Urugaya has the sense of like Uttama Shloka in the same sense. Urugaya, O greatly glorified Lord. Yadyad diyata urugaya vibhavayanti tattat vapu pranayasi sadanugrahaya. You manifest that very form that they meditate on. Yadyad diya vibhavayanti. Yadya, which they meditate upon, you appear in that same form. Appear to them in that same form. Tattat vapu. Yadyad is related to tattad. You see, whenever the word yada will be there, tada will come. Yata, tata. Yad yad, tad tad. Yad yad diya, whichever form they meditate upon, tad tad vapu, you appear in that same form. So Jiva Goswami explains the shloka. Pranayase. Pranayase means prakarshena nayasi. Or it means prakatayasi. That means manifest. Pranayase means you become manifest. Or prakarshena nayasi means you manifest in an all surpassing manner. Prakarshena. Shrutekshita pata iti anena kalpanaya nirastatvat. So the word Shrutekshita pata, um, it actually removes the option that one can imagine any form and then meditate on that form. Now, one cannot imagine any form and meditate. One has to meditate on a form described in the Shastra. Sarva rupatve api bhaktanam abhiruchita rupatve apavadaha. So, although Lord has many forms, sarva rupatve api. Although Lord has many forms, or the Lord's form contains many forms, but bhaktanam abhirupatve, the Lord manifests in a form which that particular devotee, according to the liking or according to the taste or according to the mood of that particular devotee. That means he does not manifest the form which are not appealing to the devotee. Bhaktanam abhiruchatve apavadaha Sri Kardama Vakyena. For this, he also quotes another shloka in order to substantiate this point. Spoken by Kardama Muni in the third canto. Tanyeva tebi rupani bhagavamstava yani cha rochante swajananam arupinah. So I will also send the translation of the whole anuccheda along with the purport. I will share it. Today I will just go through the Sanskrit shloka and explain the meaning. So here Kardama Muni is saying that arupinah. Arupinah means one who does not have a material form. My dear Lord, although you have no material form, yani cha rochante. Your most suitable forms are those that are pleasing to your devotees. Abhirupani rupani yani cha rochante. Although you have no material form, but your most suitable forms. Abhirupani rupani, most suitable forms are those which are pleasing to the devotees. So one devotee asked a question in our class. Which is the most beautiful deity? Like he asked in a ISKCON context, which is the most beautiful deities in ISKCON temple? That he asked. So different people were giving different answers. Radha, Madhava, Shyam. the Gopinath, like, and then the finally devotee said, actually, the most beautiful deity is that deity to whom we perform service. So, to whichever deity we perform service, that deity appears most beautiful, that person. So, abhirupani rupani yani yani cha rojante. The most suitable forms are those that are pleasing to your devotees. Yani yani cha. And then, so you see, there's words will be quoted, and then some particular terms from the shloka will be explained by Sridhar Swami or Jiva Goswami. So, yani yani cha Twadīya स्वभक्तेभ्यो रोचन्ते तानि कानि एव तव रूपाणि ते तव अभिरूपाणि योग्यानि न अन्यानि इत्यर्थः. That means only those forms that please the minds of the devotees are your suitable forms and not others. Anyani cha yadrisham ranti devaya kutsita rupam prapanchitam tadrishani nyayani. So he says that in the Ranti Deva story, the Lord manifested certain forms. They are Kutsita Rupam. By other forms is meant forms such as the ungraceful ones shown to Ranti Deva. So in the Ranti Deva story, you know that Ranti Deva story comes in the 9th canto. Ranti Deva was exceedingly generous by nature, and he was fasting for 48 days, and the time came for breaking the fast. And then he had certain amount of food, and so when he was about to break the fast on the 49th day, when he sat down to eat, a Brahmana guest came. So Rantidev was such a great elevated Vaishnava that he saw everyone, he saw the presence of Krishna in everyone. He treated the guest as if he were the god, or as if he is the representative of Krishna. So he fed that Brahmana and then divided the remaining food among his family members. And then when they were about to eat, a Shudra came asking for food, and Rantidev gave him some food. And then a few moments later, another guest came with a pack of dogs. So then he gave all the remaining food, and then only a little water was left. So at that time, Rantidev divided that among his family members, and before they could drink it, an outcast appeared. So seeing the outcast suffering from the thirst, then Rantidev gave the remaining water to that outcast. So actually these guests, this outcast, the Shudra, Brahmana, all these guests were actually created by the Lord's Maya in order to test Rantidev's fortitude, perseverance. So in that sense, these forms they were in one sense forms of the Lord. But these forms, Shudra, Chandala, the dogs, they were not his personal forms. So strictly speaking, these forms cannot be considered worshipable. So these forms are referred by the word Kutsita Rupam. Anyanicha Yadrisham Rantidevaya Kutsita Rupam Prapanchitam Tadrishani Nyayani. So by other forms is meant forms such as the ungraceful ones, such as shown to Rantidev. And Vishwanath Chakravartipad also mentions that the ungraceful forms also refer to the Virata Rupa form of the Lord. Because Virata Rupa form, although it is recommended for the neophytes to meditate, but it is not the Lord's own form, it is a material form. So therefore, Virata Rupa is not the ultimate goal of attainment. So basically, it is recommended for those in the bodily concept of life so that they can get purified, and then they can come to the platform of appreciating the other forms of the Lord, 200, 400 forms of the Lord. So Tadrishasya च मायिकत्वम एव हि तत्र उक्तम. So these other forms shown to Rantidev, the Shudra, Chandala, Brahmana form, they are actually made of the Mayika. They are made of the they are illusory forms. That is also described in the 9th canto. Tasya Tribhuvanadisha Phalada Palamichyatam Atmanam Darshayam Chakrur Maya Vishnur Vinirmitaha. So Tribhuvana Adisha, the controllers of the 3 spheres. So Palamichyatam Paladaha. So the controllers of the 3 spheres, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who reward those seeking benedictions, they revealed their identities. Atmanam Darshayam Chakru, they revealed their identities after having displayed the Maya Vishnu Vinirmita, after revealing the illusory forms created by Vishnu. So for these forms, when the verse which is saying that those forms which are pleasing to the devotees, the Lord appears in those forms. So these pleasing forms don't refer to the forms such as the Chandala, Brahmana, and the dogs created by the Lord's Maya potency for Rantideva. So these forms don't refer to the Virata Rupa forms of the Lord. So that is what Jiva Goswami is actually clarifying. So Tikacha Tribhuvanadishaha refers to Brahmadayaha. Mayas Tadiya Dairya Parikshartam Pratamam Mayaya Vrishaladi Rupena Pratitaha Santa Ityartaha. So Dairya Pratikshartam, in order to test Rantideva's Dairya, fortitude. So the Lord manifested these forms by his illusory potency. Which forms? Vrishaladi Rupena, the Shudra and other forms. So Anabhirupatve Hetuhu. Anabhirupatve Hetuhu Arupina iti. So the cause of such forms being unsuitable is expressed in the word Arupinaha. Because Arupina, so why these forms are unsuitable? That is expressed by the word Arupinaha. Arupina means what? Arupina means one who does not have a material form. Prakrita Rupa Rahitasya. So Arupina means does not mean one who is formless, but it means Prakrita Rupa Rahitasya, one who does not have a material form. Iti tika cha Aprakritattvena Kutsitatva Asambhavad iti bhavaha. That means Arupina means Aprakrita form, transcendental form. So therefore, such a transcendental form cannot refer to this Kutsitatva, these forms of Brahmana, Shudra, and the outcast, and the pack of dogs. These are all Kutsitatva. These are all Kutsitatva. These are inferior forms. But the Lord has a transcendental form. So these forms were manifested by the Lord in order to test Rantideva's fortitude, and these are manifested by the Lord's Maya potency. So Ata Prakrita Padyasya Katam Va Ityadi Trayayuktaye Avashishtam Sambodhana Trayam Vyakyayate. So now returning to the verse under discussion. So before that, I'll read some portion of the commentary. Then I'll go. So we discussed the point Shrutekshita Pato Nanunata Pumsam. That means Shrutekshita Pata means like Yadyadhyata Urugai Vibhavayanti, whichever form a person meditates, the Lord appears in a particular form. So one may take this sentence and think that, oh, one can meditate on any form. One can meditate on any form according to one's imagination. So this sentence can lead to the concept of anthropomorphism or zoomorphism. Anthropomorphism means projecting a human form on God. Zoomorphism means projecting an animal form on God. So, yadyadhyata, one may say that this one can meditate in any form. So this sentence appears to promote anthropomorphism and zoomorphism. One may say like that. No, that is why the word shrutekshita pato is important. No, you can meditate on any form, but which is described in the Shruti, which is described in the Shastra. Not according to one's own imagination, according to one's own whim. So therefore, Shrutekshita Pato is important. The significance of the word Ikshita is that one should see the form of the Lord through the years. See through the years, and that will purify the heart. Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridyantasto Hyabhadrani Vidunoti Sukrat Satam. By hearing, actually the heart becomes purified. The abhadras get purified. And then, so why does the Lord appear? Yadyadhyata Urugaya Vibhavayanti Tattat Vapu Pranayase Sad Anugrahaya. Sadanugrahaya. The Lord appears in order to bless his devotees. Because the Lord is controlled by the love of the devotees. Tvam Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Hrit Saroja. The Lord takes the seat in the heart which is melted by the Bhakti Yoga, which is melted by Prema. So the Lord is actually conquered by the love. So therefore, in order to bless such a devotee, he appears. So how the devotees control the Lord, it is also mentioned by Lord Vishnu to Durvasamuni. Mayi nirbadha hridaya sadava samadarshanaha vashe kurvanti mam bhaktya satstriya satpatim yata. A faithful wife wins her husband's love by her loyalty. Similarly, the Lord says that I am similarly won over by my devotees whose hearts are completely bound to me while showing equanimity to all beings. So, now coming back to this paragraph, Ata Prakrita Padyasya Katam Va Ityaditraya Yuktaye Avashishtam Sambodhanatrayam Vyakyayate He Bhagavan Achintya Shakti. So now returning to the verse under discussion. Which is the verse under discussion? Koveti Bhuman Bhagavan Paratman. Yogeshwarotir Bhavatas Trilokyam Kava Kativa Kava Katamva Kativa Kadeti Vistarayan Kridas Yogamayam. This is the verse we are discussing. 10.14.21. So we have discussed the Kvava, first question mark. Where does the Lord appear? So the Lord appears. Where does the Lord appear? The Lord appears in that heart or in that place where the Lord appears in that heart which is melted by love for him. Tvam Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Grit Saroja. Where the devotee's heart is melted by prema, the Lord appears there or in that particular place. So now the next question is Vava Katamva. Katamva, how does the Lord appear? So Katam, Kati and Kada, these are the three remaining things are remaining. So He Bhagavan Achintya Shakti. So this Katamva is related to the second Sambodhana Vibhakti word, that is Bhagavan. Bhagavan means one who has Achintya Shakti. Achintyasya Bhagavan Murtyad Avirbhavasya Anyata anupapater achintya swarupa shaktireva karanamiti bhavaha. Iyam katam va ityasya yuktihi. So the sense is that the inconceivable appearance of the Lord's form and so on is not possible by any means other than the Achintya Shakti. It's not possible for the Lord's appearance by any means other than the Achintya Shakti. Therefore, how does the Lord appear? The Lord appears by his Achintya Shakti. Ajopisan avyayatma bhutanam ishvaropisan prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavam atma mayaya. Although I am unborn, ajo api, but still I appear by Atma Maya. Atma Maya also means by my Achintya Shakti. So in this way, the second question is answered. Iyam katam va ityasya yuktihi. And then the third question. Tata he Paramatman. So Paramatman is related to the third question. Kva, katam and kati. Kati means how many forms of the Lord are there? How many avatars of the Lord are there? So Paresham Pratyekam api Ananta Shaktinam Purushadi Avataranam Atman Avatarin Tvayitu Tasam Sutaram Anantatvat Tad Avirbhava Vibhutayah Kativa Vang Manaso Agocharatvat Agocharatvam Vang Manaso Agocharatva Apadyeran iti bhavaha. Yam kativa ityasya yuktihi. What is the meaning? So Paratman means you who are the self are the source of all other avatars. So Paratman means avatarin. Avatarin means one who is the source of all the avatars. And all these avatars, pratyekam api ananta shakti nam. Each of these avatars have actually unlimited shaktis, ananta shakti nam. Purushadi avatarana. All these different Purusha avatars, each of these avatars have unlimited shaktis. And you are the avatarin, you are the source of all the avatars. And therefore, you also have unlimited opulence because all the avatars have unlimited opulence. And therefore, that you also have unlimited opulence. Therefore, what is the import of the whole sentence? Tvayitu tasam sutaram anantatva. Since the avatars have unlimited opulence, it stands to reason that you also have unlimited opulence. And therefore, the import is that Kativa means Vang Manasa Agocharatva Apadyeran iti bhavaha. Therefore, it is impossible for the mind, speech to ascertain the extent of the Lord's opulences as they manifest. It is impossible to count the number of avatars. Or Kativa means to what extent the Lord manifests his pastimes. So the answer is that it is impossible to imagine, it is impossible to understand with our mind or words to what extent the Lord will manifest his Yogamaya potency. Or it is impossible to count the number of pastimes and avatars of the Lord. Because he is Paratman. He is the avatari and each of his avatars have unlimited Shaktis. In this way, the third question, Kativa, is related to the word Paratman is answered. And the fourth question is Kada. When will the Lord appear? This is related to the fourth Sambodhana Vibhakti word Yogeshwara. Ekasmin eva rupe Nana rupayo jana lakshanaya yoga namnyaha Swarupa Shaktes Taya Va Ishana Shila. So the term Yogeshwara means You are the controller of the internal energy called Yogamaya. Yoga Namnyaha Swarupa Saktes Taya. You are the controller of the internal energy called Yogamaya, which is responsible for accommodating the various forms in one original form. Ekasmin eva rupe. Nana Rupa Yojana Lakshanaya. The Yoga Maya only accommodates the contradiction of Yoga Maya only accommodates many forms in one form. Various forms in one original form. And you are the controller of that Yoga Maya. Ishana Sheela, you control through that energy. So Ayam Bhavaha Yatha Tava Pradhanam Rupam Antarbhutam Ananta Rupam Tata Tava Amsha Rupam Cha Tatascha Yada Tava Yatramshe Tattat Rupa Upasana Palasya Yasya Rupasya Prakashana Icha Tadaiva Tatra Tadrupam Prakashase iti. So what does it mean? It means that just as uncountable forms exist within your original form, Tava Pradhanam Rupam Antarbhuta Ananta Rupam. Within your original form, uncountable forms exist. And so various plenary portions also exist in you. Tava Amsha Rupam. So all these different Amshas also exist in you. So therefore, Yada Tava Yatra Amshe Tattat Upasana Phalasya. So whenever a particular devotee's devotion matures to the stage of prema towards a particular form of the Lord. So at that time, the Lord manifests that form to that particular devotee. So therefore, the answer to the fourth question, when will the Lord manifest his form? The answer is that whenever a particular devotee's devotion matures, because all the forms of the Lord are present within one form, and whenever the devotee's devotion matures, the Lord manifests that particular form. So that is the logic behind the question, when kada ityasya yuktihi. So in this way, this particular verse is analyzed in great detail. Very beautiful shloka. Kovetti Bhuman Bhagavan Paratman Bhagavan Paratman Yogeshwarotir Bhavatas Trilokyam Kvava Kativa Katamva Kativa Kadeti Vistarayan Kridasi Yogamaya. You can memorize this shloka. And then we'll go to the 41st Anucheda. So in this 41st Anucheda, we are coming to the conclusion of this section of this Brahmaji's prayers which are quoted. Around 14 prayers are quoted. In this particular Anucheda, the last prayer is being quoted. So in this Anucheda, is there any question before we go to the next one? Is it understandable or is it difficult?
Prabhuji, it's definitely understandable, but just one thought I had. The people who do not believe and think that, it's uh, it's like some people thinking about Lord, right? Not Lord exist actually. A couple of verses give a room for them to think that it's a manifestation of somebody's imagination. So yeah, and that verse kind of openly allows that to happen. That's what I was thinking. So how do you look at it?
No, that is why it is also that word is clearly with the Shrutekshita Pato. Therefore, that particular vakya is emphasized there. Because it may appear that Yadyadhyata Urugai Vibhavayanti, it allows a person to meditate on any form which is mind projects. So, but then, therefore, the verse immediately clarifies the previous line. No, you have to meditate on that form which is mentioned in the Shastra, and within that you can meditate on any form according to your liking. Well, therefore, that is emphasized by the Acharyas. Shrutekshita, it shows that you cannot do some kalpana or imagination. So that is why we see in the Shastras, there is a room for individuality is there, but at the same time, the individuality cannot be whimsical. Actually. For example, yesterday I was discussing in class how bhakti is independent. Bhakti cannot be checked by any circumstance. Ahaituki apratihata. So Jiva Goswami talks about this, how bhakti is independent. Bhakti cannot be checked by any circumstance. He talks about the universal nature of bhakti. Other paths are dependent on various situations, dependent on various qualifications, etc. Bhakti is independent, just like Krishna is independent, Bhakti is also independent. Bhakti can be performed with any of the senses, Bhakti can be performed with any of the activities, Bhakti can be performed by any species, in any body, in any stage of life. Like that, he takes many different categories. Although Bhakti is universal, at the same time, it is mentioned that Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatrika Vidim Vina Aikantiki Harer Bhaktir Utpata Yaiva Kalpate. The bhakti which is performed by disregarding the injunctions of Shruti and Smriti will create disturbance in society. So one cannot say, okay, bhakti can be performed with any activity. So I can offer liquor to the Lord. Then that can also be bhakti. No, that is a concoction. There are some rules are also. So therefore, so we see bhakti is universal. At the same time, it is specific. Bhakti is universal in the sense that it can be performed by, it does not depend on a particular person from a particular creed or caste, particular place. No. The independent nature of bhakti allows a person to perform bhakti in any condition of life. Universal, at the same time, it is specific in the sense that bhakti is for Krishnanushilanam. It is for Krishna. Means like you cannot say you can perform, you can't technically call Ganesh Bhakti, Shiva Bhakti, or Kartikeya Bhakti Krishnanushilanam. At the same time, within Krishna, it includes Krishna's different incarnations, avatars, devotees, guru, etc. There is it is inclusive at the same time exclusive. So it is inclusive at the same time exclusive. There's a universal nature of bhakti. At the same time, there's a specific aspect of bhakti. Bhakti is for Krishna. Anushilanam. Bhakti should be performed by following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. Or should be followed according to the Shastra. So there's a specific aspect that's also there. So oftentimes people who recognize the universal aspect of bhakti, sometimes they fail to take note of the specific aspects. And sometimes those who accept the specific nature of bhakti, they don't recognize the universal nature of bhakti. For example, they may say, some people may be practicing Krishna bhakti, but then they didn't have the faith that Krishna is meant for everyone. Krishna is meant for everyone. So they didn't have the, like Prabhupada said that Jagannath means he is not Odiyanath, he is Jagannath, he is meant for the whole universe. But sometimes people may be worshipping Jagannath, but because you are foreigner, you can't come. So that means they didn't have the faith that Krishna is meant for everyone. So sometimes caste Goswamis, they felt, Krishna is meant only for the maybe Gujaratis or Vrindavan Vasis or this thing, only for Indians. They didn't have the faith Krishna is meant for everyone. Although they were specifically worshipping Krishna, but they didn't have faith in the universal nature of bhakti. And sometimes there are people who speak about the universal concepts, but they don't speak about the specific. They don't like sometimes there are say motivational speakers or something. They speak about universal principles, general moral principles, relationships, and this thing. But they feel that if they speak something specific about a particular god, say Krishna, particular mantra, then people will not accept it. Yeah, it may be true for say other god, other mantra, but when you talk about Krishna, although it is specific, at the same time it is universal. At the same time universal. That is why Prabhupada, when he named the society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, so at that time the devotees had two objections. He said, either you name the society as International Society for God Consciousness, or you name it as Society of Krishna Consciousness. International and Krishna, both words cannot be there. That was one of the objections. Because when you make Krishna, it becomes specific. So how can it be then? How can it make it as international, universal? And if you want to keep international to attract everyone, then you keep a generic name, God consciousness. No, Prabhupada had that faith, although Krishna is specific, but he is actually meant for the whole universe. So one has to understand that universal and specific nature.
Right. So does that also imply, Prabhuji, that somebody, a kind soul who is in loving service of Lord Krishna, will be guided to Shastras automatically?
Yeah, somebody, that also Krishna says, Tesham evanu kampartam aham ajnanajam tamaha. If somebody is illiterate, but somebody is sincere, Krishna says that I will give the intelligence, I will give the shastric knowledge to that person and remove the ignorance in his heart. It's also that. But he will not give something different from the Shastra. Sometimes the people say that some people may chant some concocted mantra, and they will say that this mantra was revealed to me. Sapne mein Bhagavan aake bataya. No, when the Lord actually reveals something, he gives the same Shastric knowledge. He does not give something different from the Shastra. So, okay. We'll go to the next anuccheda, 41. Tasmat tat sarvamapi tasmin Shri Krishna Rupe Antarbhutam Ityevam Atrapi Tatparyam Upasamharati. So, Tasmat, therefore, all these Tat Sarvamapi, all these various forms and the universes are contained Shri Krishna Rupe Antarbhutam, are contained within the form of Shri Krishna. So, Brahma is concluding this topic. Ityevam atrapi tatparyam upasamharati. Upasamharati means concluding. So Brahma is concluding the topic with the shloka 10.14.22. Tasmadidam jagadashesham satswarupam स्वप्नाभमस्तदिशणं पुरुदुःखदुःखं त्वय्येव नित्यसुखबोधतनावनन्ते मायात उद्यदपि यत् सदिवावभाति. Very beautiful shloka. Very nice purport also. Therefore, tasmat, idam, this entire universe, idam jagat, which is idam ashesha jagat. Therefore, this entire universe, which is asat swarupam, which is insubstantial, swapna, like a dream, swapnabhamas astadishanam. Astadishanam means which covers consciousness. Puru dukkha dukkam, which is full of abundant and endless misery. And mayata, which arises out of your maya potency. But sad eva avabhati, sat eva avabhati. But this universe appears as sat, it appears as real. Because twayi eva, it is situated in you. And what is the nature of you? Nitya sukha bodha tanav anante. You are anante, you are limitless, and you possess a body which is nitya, eternal, sukha, full of bliss, and bodhata, and consciousness. So Brahmaji is concluding here. So this shloka will be discussed. Different words are explained by Sridhar Swami and Jivo Swami. Yasmad evam prapancha prapancha aprapancha प्रपंच अप्रपंच वस्तूनां यस्माद्येवं प्रपंच अप्रपंच वस्तूनां सर्वेषामपि तत्त्वविग्रह असि तस्मादेव नित्य सुख बोधन लक्षणा या या तनुस् तत्स्वरूपे अनन्ते त्वयि त्वयि एव अशेषमिदं जगत् अवभाति इति अन्वयः. So, since your form is thus the original cause of prapancha and aprapancha vastuna, since your form is the original cause of all the prapancha and aprapancha vastuna means material and transcendental objects, or ephemeral and transcendental objects. Since your form is the cause of all these things, therefore, this entire universe consequently appears within you. Twayi eva, this entire universe consequently appears within you, who are limitless, ananta, and whose self is identical with the body, which is nitya sukha bodha analanakshanaya, which is eternal, which is full of bliss, and which is full of consciousness. So, since your form is the original cause of all the material and transcendental objects, and this universe consequently appears within you, and you are limitless, and your body is actually eternal, blissful, and full of consciousness. Katam bhutam, how does the universe appear? Sat satudyadapi yat muhuruha muhurubhavat tirobhavatcha. This universe appears as real, and udyadapi, and also as arising, repeatedly appearing and disappearing. Muhur ubhavat tirobhavatcha. This universe appears real, and this universe manifests and unmanifests. It is created and destroyed. It appears and disappears. Yad yasmin muhur jayate liyate cha tat tasmin eva avabhati bhuvi tad vikara iva iti bhavaha. So just like sometimes different products arise from the earth, like a pot, different objects made of the earth arise from the earth. and then they dissolve into the earth. So similarly, this universe, although arising, it appears and disappears again and again. It exists in him alone, and from whom it appears and into whom it disappears. Just like the different objects appear from the earth and then they dissolve into the earth. And then the question is, Tarihi kim mama vikaritvam? So the question is that if so many objects appear from the earth and then they dissolve into the earth, there's only so many things. This universe appears from the Lord and then they also disappear into the Lord. So the objects undergo transformation. Does the Lord also undergo transformation? So does this mean that Krishna also undergoes transformation? So then that is answered, na iti aha. No, the Lord does not undergo transformation. Na iti aha mayaya tvadiya achintya shakti visheshena vikaradi rahitasya eva shrutestu shabdamulatvat ityadau parinama swikarat. No, although the Lord does not undergo transformation because by his achintya shakti, because he possesses achintya shakti, he does not undergo transformation. And also it is described in the Shastras. So we can understand the nature of the Lord only through the Shastras. Shruti is to Shabda Mulatva. And Shastras clearly talk about how the Lord does not undergo transformation when the universe is created, maintained, and destroyed. Although the universe undergoes transformation, the Lord does not undergo transformation. It is mentioned in the Shastra. So based on the Shastra also, Parinama Asvikarat. So this clearly indicates that in the act of creation, your energies are transformed, but you are not transformed. And then, Brahma Sutra is also quoted. Muhur Udbhava Tirobhavattvadeva Swapnabam Tatulyam Natu Agyana Matra Kalpitatvadapi Vaidharmyachana Swapnadivat Iti Nyayena. So Brahma Sutra is quoted. So this universe has been likened to a dream. Swapnabam. The universe is likened to a dream because Muhur Udbhava Tirobhavatvad. Because this universe appears and disappears Muhuhu repeatedly. Therefore, it is likened to a dream. But when we say the universe is likened to a dream, it is not to imply that it is a product of the imagination due to ignorance. Tatulyam na to agyana matra kalpitatvad. Because here is the Advaitvada theory which says that Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. This point we will also discuss more detail in the next class. According to the Advaitvada conception, this world is a Mithya, it is false. But here it is mentioned, the world is compared, it is like a dream because it appears and disappears repeatedly, but it is not Mithya, it is not false. Because Brahma Sutra says that Vaidharmyacha na Swapnadivat. Because the universe has different characteristics, it is not, because the universe has different characteristics, it is not like a dream. Vaidharmyacha na Swapnadivat. Iti Nyayena. So this point we'll discuss more detail in the next class. We'll at least go through this particular anuccheda. Just few more sentences are there. Tata this point that how this universe is compared to a dream, this does not mean that universe is false. This point we'll discuss in more detail in the next class. Tata avidya vrittika maya karyatvacha astadishanam jiva paramatma jnana lopakartru. So what it means? avidya vrittika maya karyatvat. So this universe is actually a product of the avidya, ignorant feature of the maya. It is product of the avidya feature of maya. Because it is a product of the avidya feature of maya, this universe is called as astadishana. Astadishana is the word coming from the shloka. It is called as astadishana. Astadishana means what? Jiva Paramatma Jnana Lopa Kartru. So because this universe is a product of the avidya feature of maya, it is called as astadishana. That means this universe, it covers the knowledge of Paramatma upon the jiva. It covers the living beings' awareness of the supreme goal. Paramatma Jnana Lopa Kartru. It covers the knowledge of the Paramatma, it covers the knowledge of the supreme goal upon the jiva. Because the universe is coming from the avidya feature of maya. Ubayasmadapi hetoho puru dukkha dukkam tadiya sukha basasyapi vastuno dukkha rupatvat. So ubayasmadapi, because of these two reasons, for these two reasons, what are the two reasons? That the universe is a product of the avidya feature of maya. And the second is universe is actually like a dream because it manifests and unmanifests repeatedly. So because of these two reasons, puru dukkha dukkam tadiya sukha basasyapi vastuno dukkha rupatva. This universe is a place of puru dukkha dukkam, great misery. Because any semblance of happiness in this universe, in reality, it is simply misery. Sukha abhasa means semblance of happiness. Tadiya sukha abhasasyapi vastuno dukkha rupatva. Whatever semblance of happiness which we see in this universe, it is actually dukkha rupam only. It is only a misery only. And then vinatu vina tvat sattaya asat swarupam shashavishana tulyam. Vinatu vina tvat sattaya. Without your presence, this universe is like a haunts of a rabbit. Without your presence, this universe will be asat swarupa. It will be completely unreal. Without your presence, this universe will be completely unreal, like a haunts of a rabbit. But it is not completely unreal, because this universe is coming from your maya potency. It is coming from the avidya portion of your maya potency, and therefore this universe appears to be real, and this universe covers the real goal of a living entity, and this universe produces only misery. But without your presence, this universe will be completely unreal, like a shashavishana. Shashavishana means the horns of a rabbit. Tadevam bhutamapi sadiva anashwaramiva bhati mugdanam iti sheshaha. So what is the meaning? Although the universe appears real or imperishable, Sadiva, although this universe appears as real, and Anashwara, although this universe is imperishable, but Mugdam, to the bewildered, to the Mugdam, although it is such, the universe appears real or imperishable to the bewildered. So we see that Although this universe is filled with misery, Puru Dukkha Dukkha Swarupam. Although the universe actually covers the real goal of a living entity, but this universe appears to be real. Sadiva. To whom it appears to be real? For the mugdha, to the bewildered people. Mugdanam is not there in the shloka, but this mugdha should be added. Mugdanam iti sheshaha. That mugdanam is actually implied in the shloka. This universe appears as real to the bewildered people. And then upalakshanam cha etad vyavahara jnanamaya mahadad 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 mahad atmatvach jnana udbotakam iva swargadi atmakatvat sukam iva cha. So it is actually Jiva Goswami's commentaries. A lot of combined words are there. It becomes difficult to read actually. Upalakshanam. Upalakshanam means what? Like suppose a mother says to the son, I have kept some rice in the terrace. You protect the rice from the crows. Sometimes crows come and actually eat the what you kept for drying. So mother tells the son, you protect the rice from the crows. I kept the rice for drying, protect it from the crows. So when she is saying the protected from the crows, by upalakshana, it also includes that protected from other animals also. It could be some cat, a rat, some other bird. It's not that you can't say I protected from the crows, but I allowed the cats to eat the rice. By upalakshana, it also includes the other animals also. Similarly, here upalakshanam chaitad vyavahara jnanamayam mahad atmatvat. So what he is saying is that the preposition iva applied here to the word real. So the universe appears as real, sad iva. But this should also, by upalakshana, it should also be included to the knowledge and happiness also. That means to the bewildered people, it was mentioned that the universe appears as real. But it should also be included that to the bewildered people, this universe appears as a source of knowledge. Because the universe is composed of elements like Mahatattva, earth, water, fire, air, ether. To the bewildered people, the universe appears as a source of knowledge. The scientists are exploring the Chandrayaan, they're sending satellites to different planets. So to the bewildered people, the universe appears as a source of knowledge. And to the bewildered people, the universe appears to be like the source of happiness. It appears to be like a sukhalayam. So to the bewildered people, this universe which is temporary appears to be eternal. To the bewildered people, this universe which is made of actually achetana vastus. But to the bewildered people, this universe appears to be full of knowledge. It appears to be the source of knowledge. To the bewildered people, this universe, which is whose real nature is Puru Dukkha Dukkham, but this universe appears to be like the Sukhalaya. So that is what by Upalakshana, this should also be included. Although the verse only says that Sad Iva Avabhati. Sad Iva Avabhati means the universe appears as real because it is situated in you. But by Upalakshana, it should also be included that this universe appears to be like a source of pleasure for the bewildered. This universe appears to be like the source of knowledge for the bewildered. So these points are also to be included by Upalakshana. Just like the mother says that protect the rice from the crow, you also have to include the other animals by Upalakshana. And then the last point, Tadevam Anyasya Tat Parichedyatvat Swarupa Shaktya Eva Parichinnam Aparichinnam Cha Tavedam Vapuriti Prakaranartha Brahma Shri Bhagavantam. So therefore, Tadevam Anyasya Tat Parichedyatvat, the universe is limited. Parichedyatvat means it is limited, are pervaded by the form of the Lord. This universe is limited and pervaded by the form of the Lord. But Bhagavan's form, by virtue of the power of his internal potency, is both limited and unlimited simultaneously. Parichinnam, aparichinnam. The universe is limited or pervaded by the form of the Lord. But Bhagavan's form is both parichinnam, aparichinnam. It is both limited and unlimited. How? Swarupa Shaktya eva, by his internal potency. And this is the import of the entire topic in this particular anuccheda of this whole section. So how the Lord's form is, we discussed that by his Achintya Shakti, the Lord's form is limited and also all pervading simultaneously by the Achintya Shakti. So similarly, by the Achintya Shakti, in this concluding verse of this Brahma's prayer, by the Achintya Shakti, the temporary material world appears to be real, appears to be eternal. By the Achintya Shakti, the miserable material world appears to be like a Sukhalaya. By the Achintya Shakti, this material world, which is made of Achetana Vastus, appears to be like the source of knowledge. And that is what Brahmaji is saying in this. And we will discuss the purport to the Anuccheda in more detail next week. Very beautiful, detailed purport. And then we'll go to the 42nd Anuccheda next class. So if anybody has any question, this particular Anuccheda, some point it is not understood, we can repeat. Anybody wants to share anything? Dr. Ram Mistry, welcome to our class. So I will share the 40th Anuccheda translation and the purport in the folder. So you may go through it. And then next week, after discussing 41, we will also share this. So we'll stop here. Kantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srimad Goswami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji.